Hi everybody, welcome to the demonstration of the newly built GM Care Record Smash dashboard. This video will give you a very brief overview of the tool, see how we do things like find patients, find statistical information, and you can use this as a brief reference point for getting yourself familiar with the tool. The first thing to note about the Smash dashboard is that when you log in, you'll receive a username from Microsoft for something called Power BI. This is Power BI, which is the application that Smash now runs under. So you won't receive emails from Smash, it will come from Power BI. In terms of the front page of the dashboard, it's recreated what we previously had as a web-based interface. However, it's in a slightly different format because of the rebuild in Power BI. This is the high-level Greater Manchester wide view. Initially, it'll tell you the number of patients, how many localities are on there, how many GP practices. There's a bit of a sense check around numbers and data. You'll then see each of the indicators has a number next to it, and this can be filtered down to whichever level you want to look at, from locality, GM-wide, practice, or PCN. Hovering over the indicator will give you a brief description of what the indicator is and the patients that meet that indicator. On the left of the dashboard, we have various different tabs. So the system view is the main one you will use, which is to access the tool. There is information about Smash itself, the background, the information about the indicators, what assumptions have been used for the searches, for example. The References tab contains information on each of the indicators with an evidence base. You may wish to use this as part of your quality improvement work with practices. This essentially just summarises key bits of data and evidence as to why the indicator has been included within the tool. The How to Use tab tells you how to use the tool, so it contains bits of key information that you'll see from this video, but can be a useful reference just to refer back to if you ever find yourself a little bit stuck with the tool. A key difference from the rebuild of Smash compared to the older version is the drill through function. Previously, you would have just have clicked on numbers and patients to get their details. Now you have to right click and drill through to find patient details, which we'll demonstrate shortly. There's information around the support services and contact detail there should you have any issues with access or not any problems with the tool. As this is a fairly recent rebuild, there may be the occasional teething problems with data or other issues. If you do come across these problems, please log it so we can develop and improve the tool further. So if you go back just to the front screen here, you'll notice there are some filter tabs and there are also system, indicators and analytics. Each one of these tabs takes you to a different element of the dashboard. Going back to the filter view, so there's two ways you can filter. You can filter on a practice or PCN level. So if we look here for a particular PCN, it'll jump back to us and click on the hide filters to remove the menu. It will then tell you for that particular PCN how many patients are affected by each of the indicators. You can also filter on an individual indicator. So you may wish to look, for example, at the lithium audit, for example, in that particular PCN. And you can see there in this particular PCN, there are 6 patients meeting this indicator currently. To go back to your original position, if you click on clear filters, this will take you back to the original GM-wide view. You can also click to address sort of the filters as well. So if you don't wish to go through the filter option, you can drill this down and click, and it will take you to the information for that particular practice or that particular PCN or locality. The Analytics tab, which we click on here, takes us to some high-level information and essentially operates in a similar way where we can filter down. You will probably have a filtered view of the analytics based on the access you've been granted. So it's worth noting that with Smash, when you apply for access, you'll be granted patient identifiable information only for practices that you work with. You may get some slightly higher level access for statistical data for your locality or your PCN. If we click on a particular PCN here, then we can see the effect over time of particular indicators and numbers. The main tab you'll use within Smash is the Indicators tab. This is the tab that essentially lets you find patients and will be most familiar compared to the old version of Smash. As you can see on here, we have the sense checks around the numbers of patients, the localities and GPs, and the filter system in place again. So this is currently a Bolton-wide view. If we were to filter this down, and let's select a particular PCN, and we hide the filter, we can see in this particular PCN, we have, for example, the methotrexate with no full blood count. We have 18 patients affected of a number of 86 that is eligible. All level Smash gives you statistics. It gives you comparison positions. So looking kind of how your numbers affect compared proportion of eligible patients. On the system tab, you can then compare between different localities or between different practices within your PCNs, for example. Again, hovering over information tends to tell you the figures and pulls things up as part of Power BI. If you were to look and try and identify these patients, this could be filtered down to a further practice level. So if we filter this even further, and we go for a particular practice, then we can see on here we've got numbers. And if we were to click on one of these and right click, it will bring up our options of what we can do with that data. It also options for drill through. If you click on the affected patients, this will take you to patient names and NHS numbers that you can then action with the practice of, for example, get the patient in for review or arrange tests. Within Smash itself, you can set up on the filters for the indicators. So if we clear the filters back, we may wish to look at how it's looking for, say, the heart failure non-steroidal across your practice PCN or locality. If we set this to a particular PCN, Chorley Roads, and the filters, we can see then within this PCN, we have 2 affected patients. And depending on your level of access, you may be able to drill through, or you may have to go to the individual practice to identify those patients, depending on the permissions that you've been granted. There is a notes function which is in development. The notes function within Smash Dashboard isn't providing clinical notes. It's for sense of supporting any work you're doing around this. For example, flagging up of patients booked in for a medication review, or if, for example, they're on methotrexate, they have an extended monitoring period rather than the usual 3 months detected by the tool. If at any point you sort of think you click down too far or looking for something, you can clear filters and it will take you back to your original view. That in a nutshell is how the Smash Dashboard operates. Please feel free to how to use guide. Once you get familiar with the tool, it's quite easy to play around with. There are obviously features within Power BI as well, where you can share information, you can export data. Obviously you can use this in terms of how you wish to use the practices and how you want to sort of drive quality improvement with them. So thank you for listening. Like I say, refer to the tab and the contact details if you have any further queries regarding the use of the tool, or if you do notice any problems or any issues. Thank you.